Ladies and gentlemen, we do agree that by the existence of K-pop industry, it will create a more standard beauty to the people to begin with. But what we are regretting is the glorification of opening opposition by saying that by saying how the K-pop industry is not only showing beauty is not only showing beauty but also talent and how they dance. But we think that we need to go a little we need to go a little further on how the K-pop industry mistreating their artists and selecting. It impacts the beauty standard that applies by the agency in choosing the actor and produce a beautiful artist can ironically give very very high expectation to the fandom, because they really want to be look like them. And we think that the industry of K-pop industry is to focus on their beauty, rather than how the Hollywood is accepting the Western, or even accepting the black people, for example, which is equal. And that's why we think as a feminist movement, to those kind of discrimination and bad glorification, we think that feminist movement should aggressively oppose to the K-pop industry. But our goal is simple. We want our movement gain power and trust for the K-pop fandom in order to be a platform to show how bad the agency of K-pop like JWP or TS Entertainment in selecting, or even in treating their artists, which we think that's really a bad action. We think that we're going to go little further to the road problem rather than talking about a beauty standards. So that's why we think that by gaining the power, the feminists can speak up to how can influence the fandom, saying that the fact that the K-pop fandom are so many all around the world. But how do we achieve the trust? How do we achieve the trust and gaining power to the K-pop fandom itself? Now, first mechanism, we are going to speak up, yeah, and we're going to creating a group discussion where there will be an intensive discussion involving the expert or even the influencer itself, right? So we think that the discussion will be so much effective in opening or even in educating the fan kingdom, the fan the fan of the K-pop itself, to know how how bad the K-pop industry itself. We're going to involve the expert, the influencer or artists like Emma Watson, for example, or Demi Lovato, 20 million, and their and the followers Instagram, also many fans, right? So that's why we think that speak up through the social media is fair to solve the problem. And secondly, and second mechanism, after educating the people, we think that we are going to go to the street and doing the demonstration as simply how the Black Lives Matter doing their protest. And second argument in my two argument in my substantive, why it is okay to aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. First reason, we think that the K-pop industry is doing discrimination in choosing the artists to be involved in the industry. What does that mean? It means that the K-pop industry just choose the beautiful one who have slim body or even have the small eyes or even have the white skin just to enter just those group or kind of people who can enter to the industry. It means that they limit the rights of all people who can involve to there. You never even see the black people involved to the K-pop industry. That shows to you on how discriminative the K-pop industry in choosing the artist, which is really bad and ironic in our stance. And second reason is why it is unnecessary to aggressively oppose. We think that the most prominent reason that the standard beauty that emphasize that apply to the woman female idol is more tight and strict, right? if the male like BTS is only judged on how they sing, on how they dance, and how how good they how good looking they are. But the female one, they just the female idol is treating more strict, like they have to eat something like that, and they have to sleep, and they have to keep everything to be look simple. What it means, it means that they are going to making stress the female artist, and it leads to suicide, for example. And even when a female kingdom a female idol getting fat, for example, they will be getting bullied by entertainment, and it will leads to the perspective of perspective to the fandom. Then they will bully the artist. We think that the mistreating we think that this kind of discrimination happens to women is really bad. And we think that by those discrimination, the woman idol is oftenly get bullied, and they do not get promotion, or even leads to stress and success. What is making us different from the opening government? We think that the opening government is only focusing in like a not exclusive problem. We talk deeper about the exclusive problem of what is going on in the K-pop industry. That is the discrimination, that is discrimination to women, which we think that it is within the interest of feminist movement. That's why go from that we proudly propose.
Yes. Panel. K-pop industry has been gained so much profit from discriminating women, treating their idol worse, and forcing society to follow their unrealistic beauty standard that doesn't represent all Asian people. As a feminist movement who obsess and aware with this problem, we will aggressively oppose the K-pop industry, such as JYP Entertainment, SM Entertainment, and etc. As a feminist movement, we have the responsibility for that, and it's clearly justified for opposing the K-pop industry itself. The problem that opening government brought, it's only about the beauty standard, but it's not only that kind of problem that we are facing right now. The problem is more than it, right? That I will explain it later in my argument. Let's see the opening opposition. They try to convince you by deliver that in K-pop industry they provide you more preference. But the problem is the the beauty standard that K-pop in the industry show, it doesn't represent all Asian women, which is they just show you how fake their face by the plastic surgery itself, that it's impossible for a normal society to follow their beauty standard. So their case should not be credited in this debate. Secondly, they talk about innovative on how they prove to you on how K-pop beauty standard is more innovative than the Western one. But we didn't think but we didn't think so. They couldn't prove to you what kind of innovative beauty standard that they talk about. We see that the Western beauty standard is more innovative when they show you on how Rihanna as a black woman could join the industry by his lovely voice, for example. But this kind of thing we couldn't see it in the K-pop industry. What we see is just a white girl with a really pale skin, straight hair, and really small eyes. We have never seen black people or other darker women from Asian joining the K-pop industry itself. Panel, panel. The the problem that we brought as the closing opposition is first how bad treatment that they have done to their idol. Imagine the idol have to the idol have the I imagine they train their idol more than 12 hours, which is really bad for their health. They cannot eat well, for example. When they get so fat, they cannot eat so well, and even couldn't um they couldn't date with the other actress, for example, which is really bad for the psychology of the K-pop um, idol itself, ladies and gentlemen, and also the discrimination among the K-pop idol. We see how male have the more privilege in this industry, on how female get discrimination, on how they forced to be being very slim, very pale, and should color their hair, on how they shouldn't eat well, on how they shouldn't have a normal weight, for example. This kind of discrimination should not be continue as the feminist movement. We really regret this kind of thing, so that's why we try to aggressively oppose the K-pop industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is how do we aggressively oppose this K-pop industry? First, we will do campaign. We will do protest in the street and showing them the video how cruel the K-pop industry makes their idol become very thin, very slim. They don't have enough sleep. They couldn't eat very well. They couldn't be in any kind of relationship, for example. And secondly, we will do speak up on social media how K-pop industry is opposing our purpose at the very first beginning, right? By exploit their idol, how we will invite the actress such as Emma Watson, on how we will do a discussion there, so that directly the K-pop lovers will see our conversation and how it will be effective at the end of the day. Because nowadays a lot of people using social media, right? And especially the fanatic K-pop lovers. Let's see that most of the K-pop lovers are women, right? They will directly see our discussion on social media. How cruel we will discuss there. How cruel is K-pop industry treating their idol? How they discriminate certain race such as black people, that they cannot enter the K-pop industry because they are not white enough. Even the darker Asian people that should be forced being white to enter the industry. It's which is really bad that we need to discuss in this social media, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, by why our mechanism will be work at opposing K-pop industry itself. First, because by giving them a video, we will prove to them how this K-pop industry work, how they gain money, and etc. By doing discussion in social media, as I told you before, and how we will prove to them bullying is cruel in the K-pop industry. How they were being bullying by the industry, and it will lead them to the suicide as the Suli, for example. For example, the Suli itself, for example. And also, why it is benefit for all stakeholder, because first, idol will get the better treatment from their agency. K-popers will be happy, right? Because of our awareness, our voice that shows to the society, that we speak up to the society, the idol will get the better treatment from the industry, because the industry see our awareness, right? At the end of the day, K-popers will be very happy because their idol get the progressivity from the agency that before they already treated very bad, right? Secondly, what is the benefit for feminists? People will respect feminists for aware and speak up about it. As we know that most people see feminists as radical, for example, radical movement, for example. But by doing these kind of things, we will benefit our movement, because we will show to the society how cruel the K-pop industry, and how we will help this kind of idol. What makes us different from our opening government? Because first, opening government never brought the case that have been delivered before. They only brought the standardization of beauty, for example. And we brought the problem of mistreating the idol from agencies, for example, or discriminating of women, and how harmful the influence of K-pop industry itself. If you are if you are in our side, you should agree in this in our side of the house, because we support the K-pop idol itself.